Tonight on NBC and Peacock.
The Perfect Line, weekdays at 3 on Local 3.
If you watch the news at all, no doubt you've heard about the big, beautiful bill. What it exactly is kind of anybody's guess, at least as far as I am concerned. But Jay and Brittany Hagy are here this morning with Allon Planning Partners, and y'all know, I guess, a thing or two that's in the big, beautiful bill, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and now that we're at the end of the year here, we thought it was important to look back and say, here's something that really was monumental, you know, going forward for our tax legislation, and we really need to make sure that we review that with our listeners, and so that they kind of know what can I expect, because it's a 900-page bill. Yeah. I mean, you know, most people aren't going to sit down and read it.
That's why I
and
said.
So, what are a few things that matter to me and my family? Okay. So, one of the things is the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, that the tax law got extended permanently, meaning that we're all going to be paying less taxes continually. That's good. The tax rates didn't raise. That's a great thing. Well, the next 4 years, if you're 65 and older listening out there, you have a little bit more tax breaks. So either $6,000 if you're single, or if you're filing married jointly, then you'll have a $12,000 deduction. And what that is aimed to do is make sure that you do not have to pay taxes on your Social Security income.
So is that new this year? When you go to file your taxes in the spring,
it's
this
new
will be
this year. That's right.
Right. And the bill raises the income thresholds, kind of like you were talking about, Jay, to where Social Security actually becomes taxable. So 88+% of Americans who are receiving Social Security will not have to pay taxes on that Social Security, where they might have had to do so before.
On any of it?
On a lot, yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
So the majority of folks will not any longer have to pay Social Security taxes.
So those are the two that hit people most widely, because it keeps our tax brackets lower for anyone, but then those over 65, they do get an extra break. There are very minute details that you want to pay attention to, and that's why we want people to come in and do a tax review before we get to April, right? Because then we're just looking in the rearview mirror seeing, like, how can I save as much as I can now on taxes? Well, you need to do that before you get into the next year. And that's why we say, come in and have a consultation with us so we can look through and see how we can save you in taxes and what this new bill looks like for you and your family.
Okay, so you do that between now and literally the end of 2025.
That's right.
Because once the calendar turns, it's too late.
Then we're looking at next year's planning, right?
Okay.
It's never too late, but it's too late for this year if you do not plan before the end of this year, for sure.
Okay. What else is in the big, beautiful bill?
Yeah, one other big thing that the bill did was raise the RMD age. So from 73 to 75, in the year 2030 it will increase. So which means required minimum distributions will be raised. So they'll be raised in 2030. So there's pros and there's cons.
That's right.
So the pros are that we get more tax deferral, right? We get more years of where we don't have to take distributions if we don't need them. That's a good thing. We also have a bit more time to do some Roth conversions, to do some tax strategy, you know, and all of that. The negative is that it really can push retirees into higher tax brackets, because think about it. If you're taking distributions later, you've had more time for your accounts to grow, your distributions are larger, it can push you into some higher tax brackets.
But you mentioned Roth.
That's right.
Right. So taking the time before that to actually plan and do some maybe things like Roth conversions to put some of that taxable money into tax-free buckets to continue to grow.
We can plan better now that we know the tax law is permanent. So we can actually help you with Roth conversions over the next 10 years. Maybe we're laddering those conversions. So you're paying incrementally less and less taxes over time. Because a lot of people don't even realize, I was with a gentleman this week, that Roth accounts are even tax-free to your heirs. So like once you get that money in a Roth account, nobody's paying taxes on that account or growth ever again. So you can pass those on, where IRAs, your kids are still going to have to pay taxes on them, and it causes a burden.
And I guess on the RMD part of it, there are some people who they kind of rely on that RMD money to maybe pay for some expenses they have during the year. So when that required time frame kicks in, can you still elect to take an RMD?
You absolutely, and people even do what's called qualified charitable distributions.
Oh yeah.
So you can take your required minimum distribution and give it to a charity of your choice and not be taxed on it. There's a lot of strategy.
Benefit for you, benefit for the organization.
There's a lot of strategy we can help with if you come see us.
Okay, here's what you do. You call them or you go online. It's Allon Planning Partners, allonplanning.com. But just call them, 423-315-1441. There is still time to get in before the end of the year so that you make sure that when the tax man comes, times you're not paying more than you should.
That's right.
Good to see
Thanks,
you.
Julie.
You too.
Breaking news, your shoe carnival is now Shoe Station. To celebrate our new name, the entire store is stamped with our lowest price guarantee. Find a lower price, we'll match it.